Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are back covering MLB today. We have a huge 12-game slate for Tuesday. Also have some big tournaments across the site, so I wanted to go ahead and get a video out for baseball today. Let's get right into it. As always, appreciate if you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already. Today, looking at the lineups for this evening and the totals here, we have a couple of teams I do like to stack up. It starts with that first game. We have Eric Fede and Chase Anderson squaring off. Both pitchers have been pretty bad this year. Anderson's given up some bombs. Fede's also given up some bombs, and Fede's been pretty bad at home so far. It's only been 3 starts for him, but he's given up 3 bombs, given up an 8.49 ERA at home. This Phillies lineup got Harper back a few games ago. It's still pretty potent. Gene Segura's been hitting the ball really well. And then on the other side, looking at Chase Anderson's numbers, he is a guy that has always been known to give up some bombs and already given up 4 this year in just 25 innings. And he's also been bad on the road in his couple starts. I think it's a perfect combination to kind of stack up this first game if you wanted to. I really like going on both sides of this offense here, both sides of this game. Other teams, too, that look pretty good to stack. I do like Bassett as a pretty solid pitcher, so the Red Sox aren't at the top of my list, even though they do have a high total. I'd rather go down here. We do have Coors on this slate, but we have Lamet pitching for the Padres, so I'd really like to stack up the Padres side and not really look to the Rockies. I love Lamet as a pitcher. So if you wanted to stack up anybody, I think Coors will be popular, especially the Padres side, even though they are somewhat expensive. There are some cheap pitchers on DraftKings, which will make it work. So you have to recommend the Padres stack, although I kind of like that first game. Similarly, and then you can look to the Braves. Robbie Ray's been solid all season, but the Braves have been always been one of the better teams over the past few years against left-handed pitching with Ronald Acuna, Albies, Ozuna, all hit lefties really, really well. I think they make for a good stack here. And then the last team that I want to mention is the Dodgers. Kikuchi's solid, but we can always look to a couple of righty hitters against lefties on the Dodgers, and that is Mookie Betts. Really good against lefties. Turner is a beast against lefties, and then Pollock, if he's in the lineup, is pretty solid as well. And then pitching-wise, the first pitcher that really sticks out here is a value pitcher. We'll plug him in as our SP2, but that is only $5,700 for $5,700 for Brady Singer, who's been solid this year. He's coming off of a tough start against the Indians, but the last time he faced this Tigers team, he put up 32 against them. Tigers leading the MLB in strikeout percentage based on their lineup. Love Singer as a pitcher in terms of what his career projection sets out to be. He has a lot of talent, and this lineup is not very scary. They have a very low total today. I don't know why he's only $5,700. He's going to be very popular. The wind is blowing out a little bit, but 3.7 total for him. Looking at this lineup, a lot of strikeouts in here. I feel like Singer will at least hit value, and if he has another really, really good game, you can easily put up 5 to 6x that salary. And then I'll be able to pay up for an SP1 because I go cheap with Brady Singer. At the top end, we have John Means coming off of a no-hitter. You could play him if you wanted to, but I'd rather go to like Walker Buehler. Maybe some people chase that. I'd rather go to Buehler against this Mariners team. They have a 3-run total. Buehler's been solid this year. He's been one of the few pitchers on that pitching staff that goes deep into games. They let him pitch over 90 pitches, even over 100 at times. So good chance he'll get you at least 6 innings here, possibly 7 if he cruises. And this lineup also has a lot of strikeouts in there. They do have some decent hitters with Kyle Lewis, Mitch Haniger, etc., but their bottom half of that lineup is pretty bad and has a lot of strikeouts in there, and even gets to face off against the pitcher. So Kikuchi will probably strike out a couple times. You have White strikes out a bunch, Torrance, Crawford, Trammell. Like the spot for Buehler. And then I think for my bats here, I'm just going to kind of focus on the Phillies-Nats game, and then I think you can look to some Dodgers if you wanted to, and the Padres here. The first hitter that sticks out at second base, based on the way he's been hitting, is Gene Segura. He's $4,300. He's super affordable. He's on an absolute tear, batting .514 in his past 10 games with 2 bombs, 4 doubles, 6 extra base hits during that span. He has gotten a promotion to batting second in the lineup. Really like the spot for him against Fede. He's a guy that has been a pretty streaky hitter for the Phillies, and right now he's hot, so I want to continue going with him. Still at an affordable price tag at $4,300. Next up, we can go at third base with a couple of options here. Alec Bohm is very cheap. He's been hitting the ball well. He's $3,300 on the Nat side. I think you can go to Castro's only $3,100. Also a very solid, cheap option we can go to. Moving on to shortstop, it's Trey Turner for me. There's a lot of good options. You have Tatis. If you wanted to play him in cores, obviously looks like a strong option. You can go Trey Turner. Probably be lower owned today just because people might go to Tatis instead. I like Turner in this matchup. He's been getting hits recently, like he always does. He's a good hitter. Doesn't strike out much. Only has struck out, well under 20% on the season. Gets on base. Has ability to steal bases, especially going up against a righty in Chase Anderson. Love Turner today. Second guy would be Tatis, and then third guy would probably be like a maybe a Tim Anderson. Lindor starting to hit the ball well against a lefty. Means been solid, but Lindor is starting to come around, and didn't expect him to struggle all season like he did the first month. In the outfield, Bryce Harper sticks out at the top end. He's $5,700. He's going up against a lefty, and this lefty in Fed, we can look at his numbers. Been pretty bad to both sides of the plate. If you look at his career numbers, pretty similarly, lefties have hit .284 against him with a .454 slugging. Look at the power numbers, 4.54 xFIP, only 15% K rate, and the hard hit percentage is there. Like Harper in the spot, always has a revenge spot whenever he's going back to Washington. He has a bunch of pop, 6 bombs on the season, hitting for a good average. Since he's been back 3 games, he's only has a couple of hits, but Braves, some solid pitchers that he faced. I think it's a lot different story going up against a pretty poor Eric Fedde, at least so far this year. And then the last guy I want to mention is Josh Harrison. He is $3,600. He's been hitting for a great average for the Nats. He can get on base, steal a little bit. Also has some pop with 3 home runs. I think he bats like top half of the order. We see the Mariners lineup. The Mariners total went down even more, 2.8. Makes Walker Buehler look even better. But looking at this Phillies, Josh Harrison definitely will be batting in the top half of the lineup. Probably second looks good for him. If he does indeed bat second, he probably will get 5 at-bats here. And just pretty cheap. You can play him at second base as well. So that's kind of it for the DraftKings side for baseball today. A few teams to stack up. Phillies, Nats, I love that stack. On the Braves side, you know who to stack up. It's basically Ozuna, Acuna. You can go down to a Pache, $2,300. And then Riley against a lefty and Albies against a lefty. And then on the Padres side, they are pretty expensive. There might be some rain in this game, but hopefully it holds up. It's basically Trent Grisham. Love that price tag on him. It's Tommy Pham if he's been struggling this year. But good spot to maybe get out of that in cores. And then it's obviously Tatis and Machado. And then first base option, Eric Hosmer. And then on the Dodgers side, it's Turner. It's Turner, Betts, my 2 favorite hitters. And then Pollock if he's in the lineup. So that's it for DraftKings. Let's take a look at FanDuel. Alright, on FanDuel, you can go up for a John Means if you wanted to. He's $11,000. You can't take anything away from him. He's been amazing this year. I'd probably go down to Buehler still, or I definitely go all the way down to a once again Brady Singer, who's a very cheap on FanDuel as well. He's only $7,800. Also, Ohtani's pitching today. He's going up against Astros. Been hitting the ball well recently, but on DraftKings, he's like $7,400, I think. It looks pretty good on DraftKings if you wanted to take a shot in tournaments. But Singer, just love the matchup for him. I think he can cruise again like he did last time he faced Detroit. And then it allows you to pay up for all the bats that you want going with him today. On FanDuel, you can go with a full-on Braves stack. You can go with a Padres stack, or you can go with a Phillies Nat stack, which is probably the way I like to go today. I like JT Realmuto. He's been hot this year, especially recently, getting a ton of hits recently. Batting average is up to 303, 4 home runs. Nice ballpark to hit in, even though the wind might be blowing in a little bit. Still like the Phillies and the Nats, both teams in this one. At second base, you can go, if you look at the Phillies game, we have Harrison 34, Gene Segura all the way down to $2,900. That they both look very appealing. The Padres side, you can go with a Cronenworth, though he's somewhat expensive at 36. And then the Dodgers, you have Max Muncy, even though he hits lefties well, I wouldn't be discouraged playing him. and you have Chris Taylor as 2 options here. Third base, I like Alec Boehm. You have Josh Harrison, $3,400. You can play Gene Segura here. A lot of good options to pick from. Shortstop, I'll go back to Trey Turner. He's $700 cheaper than Tatis, so maybe he's a little bit easier to get to on FanDuel, but I think you can basically play any hitter that you want if you go with Singer as your pitcher. But I like Turner today. He gives you pop. He gives you stolen base upside. Pretty safe, just because if he gets on base, there's a good chance he'll at least attempt to steal. And maybe not today, because Real Muto is very good at throwing guys out. But maybe he wants a challenge. I still like Turner anyways. $4,000, and then you have Didi. Down here, you have Lindor. Possibly you can look to him. And then you have, you might not really want to play him, but you have Carlos Correa at $3,000. And then in the outfield, it's basically Bryce Harper. One of my favorite bats today. He's $4,100. Just love the matchup going up against his former team against a righty. I think he should definitely have a good game if he doesn't strike out. And then I think you can go with Juan Soto. Just pay up for both of the top end hitters on both teams. It still leaves you with about 29, 25 left to fill out 4 spots. Still doable with the value that we have on the Philly side. You have some value on the Nats side at the bottom of the order. And then you have, value in the Braves hitters. We have some solid value with them. You have Pache min price $2,000. Ozuna's priced up a little bit. He's $3,300. See the utilities. Ozuna looks fine, and then it's Riley's cheap. Swanson is cheap, and they've been having a pretty good catcher that's been hitting the ball well. Contreras is $2,500. He's been fine recently, so. That's kind of it for baseball today. Hopefully the Phillies and Nats game goes off today. That's the one I have my eye on the most. And then obviously the Padres look good today. But if you want it to be different in tournaments, then you can always fade a Coors game, just because it will be super popular. But that's it for baseball. Let's go ahead and make the NBA video now.